The University of Leeds came out with a report recently that explored whether it was possible to live a good life within planetary boundaries. The answer is yes, but it begs a redefining of what a good life is. 19 countries break 0 biophysical boundaries. And so let me show you which ones those are. Here they are in blue on this map. Those countries are Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Burundi, Côte d'Ivoire, Eritrea, Guatemala, Haiti, Kenya, Malawi, Moldova, Nepal, Nigeria, the Philippines, Rwanda, Senegal, Sri Lanka, Togo, West Bank and Gaza, and Yemen. Now, many of these are countries that some less politically correct people might call shitholes. However, these are the only countries that are living within the Earth's biophysical boundaries. And if we care about maximizing prosperity, we need to start looking at these countries as exemplars of where we want to be and where we need to be. So, the first thing we need to do is ensure that we live within the biophysical boundaries. That's our first order of business as a country and as members of the same planet. Once that's ensured, here's the 19 over here. Once that's ensured, we want to make sure that we cross social thresholds, because that's good. We want people to do well. So 13 of the 19 countries over in this side of the graph, or about 68% of those 19, cross 0 social thresholds, which are down here. And let's focus on 3 of the countries that do cross social thresholds. Let's start with our buddies over in Guatemala. Click, click. Here's Guatemala. There's that little donut shape. And little key. Alright, so Guatemala has an above neutral life satisfaction rating despite not meeting any of its other social thresholds. These have their threshold at 6.5 for life satisfaction. I say anything over 5 is good enough. That's still above neutral. So that's one thing where I differ from this report. In addition, I should note, I don't care about employment, because these other things are more important than employment. Employment can maybe contribute to these things, but these are the more important things to measure. So that's with those caveats out of the way. The only other country that has an above neutral life satisfaction rating that is of those 19 that don't break biophysical boundaries is Moldova, and we'll get to Moldova in a moment. For what it's worth, Guatemala does come close in terms of healthy life expectancy, nutrition, sanitation, income, access to energy, and social support. And again, here's their donut for you to look at. Yep. So you don't want to go outside of that dark blue ring, but you want to maximize the blue in here. And you have room to maximize the green in here, but just don't go beyond it. Alright, so let's go to Sri Lanka. The next one we're going to look at. This Sri Lanka's ring. And Sri Lanka meets the income and education thresholds, but its people are unhappy. The only other, yes, its people are unhappy. It comes close in terms of happiness, with the threshold being 5.1 here, or higher, or life satisfaction. It also comes close in terms of healthy life expectancy, nutrition, sanitation, access to energy, what else, and social support. Here's their little donut one more time. See? And again, that looks small, but keep in mind that their life satisfaction threshold's higher than the one I think they should have. So they're closer than it looks. Finally, we're going to take a look at Moldova. Here's Moldova. They don't have the data on material footprint. We're going to assume that it's also within biophysical boundary. We'll update it when we know for sure. But for now, we're assuming within biophysical boundary. Look at all this. So close, so much filled in here. Here's the thing. Moldova is doing the best of the 19 that I mentioned. It meets the thresholds for life satisfaction. And what else? It meets the thresholds for nutrition. Also income. And access to energy. So, it is what all countries should be striving for, from the overbloated ones located here, everything in gray, that have blown past at least one biophysical boundary, and then the other 18 in blue there, less industrialized ones should also learn from it, and they still have room to grow, so they can do a little bit more. Moldova also comes close in terms of healthy life expectancy, sanitation, education, social support, equality, and democratic quality. Again, look up here at that donut graph. That is a good country. So here's the thing. I want you to keep this in mind. I want you to think of Moldova when you think of where we all need to go. Again, from the rich, they need to contract, close their circle, so only this is happening in the green, and then expand the blue, which Moldova so far has done the best at. And again, I can give you a good example. Here's the United States, blown past the green, which is the first rule we're not supposed to break, because we want to live long. And the longer we live, the more we can do, the more people who can exist who can be happy. Here's China. They're about in the middle, globally speaking. They're still breaking a lot of boundaries, though. So again, when you think of exemplars of where we need to be, where we should be, where we would want to be, think Moldova. Thanks.